Hey there, I'm Christine. Welcome to our Viennese apartment. We have lived here for a little over a year and a half now, and I thought it was high time that I give you guys a tour. We moved in December of 2023, and we are just in love with this apartment. I live here, of course, with my husband, Will, and our darling pug, Mildred. We will start the tour here in our Wohnraum, or anteroom, or entryway. Our apartment is about 200 square meters, which is a little over 2,100 square feet. The building was designed and built in 1897, and obviously as that was built prior to 1945, it is what's considered an Altbau, or an old building. These buildings from the late 19th and 20th centuries are characterized generally by high ceilings, larger rooms, and original architectural details like wood parquet flooring and sometimes ornate moldings. One of the many things that I love about these Altbau apartments is how the rooms flow into each other yet still feel completely distinct. When the double doors are open, you have this lovely open concept feel, but you can just as easily close them for a more intimate contained space. There's also an inner corridor, kind of like the spine of the apartment, which connects each room individually. So you can move through the space in a loop, either directly through the rooms or via the corridor. It makes the layout really flexible since the rooms aren't locked into one specific use. So we have 5 main rooms in addition to the kitchen, bathrooms, we have a breakfast nook, and a small veranda. When looking for an apartment, we knew that we needed space for a living room, a dining area, an office, a primary bedroom, and a guest room. The way this apartment is laid out just made it all come together so naturally. It just absolutely works for how we live. In this first room, we decided to have our living room and dining room combo. The room is quite large, so giving it 2 functions just made the most sense. We've always loved vintage and antiques, so having the space to really display all of the things that we've collected over the years is really special. Our style is definitely a bit eclectic. We don't really stick to one era in particular. There's some Victorian here, a little medieval there. There's Art Nouveau or Jugendstil, some Art Deco, and even some mid-century. If we love it, we find a place for it. For me, vintage isn't just something I wear, it's how I live. The same way I put an outfit together, we've put together our home, slowly and thoughtfully. And of course, my husband has his influence as well. He's the reason that we have a small but growing collection of radioactive items. It all adds to the charm. We both love going vintage and antique shopping, and a morning at the flea market is absolute perfection. What I love is that this apartment, with its old soul and beautiful bones, just feels like the perfect home for everything that we've gathered. Nothing feels out of place, it just all belongs. Now we move into what I call the room of requirement, though primarily it is my office. We kind of use all four corners of the room. We have a listening nook for Will's vinyl collection, a small bookcase next to the gorgeous 1930s ceramic heater, a daybed for afternoon naps, or if we need extra sleeping quarters for guests. And then of course my office. I think normally this room would have been used as the dining room because it is right across the hall from the kitchen, but I really love this space that we've created. You might have noticed these doors right behind me. Well, as I mentioned, all of these rooms flow into each other. So just on the other side of these doors is my dressing room. So we did decide to close off those doors, and you will see in a bit how I designed my dressing room. I've been wanting to film a home tour for quite some time now, but I've been a little held back by my perfectionism and my desire to share a completed house with you all. And this kitchen is a part of that. Don't get me wrong, this kitchen is pretty fantastic on its own. I love the layout and I really love cooking in here. But as far as decoration goes and kind of making it my own, it's just so white and kind of bland. And because we are renting, there's only so much we can do. I've just been having a really hard time figuring out what I could do to add some warmth. But I did change out the cabinet pulls, which actually made a really big difference for me. And I'm considering changing the countertops and just putting a vinyl, kind of wood-like vinyl over the countertops. And we have decided that we are going to go ahead and paint. We were hesitant to paint at first just because of the high ceilings. And we have these curved ceilings as well. So, but we're going to paint up to a certain point and then do an Art Nouveau border around the whole room. So I'll be sure to share all of that with you when it is finally completed. We're also going to be painting and adding an Art Nouveau stencil border in our breakfast nook to make it a little bit more cozy. But even as it is right now, I just love this room. The light in the morning in here is just magical. And the windows overlooking our back garden, absolute perfection. Down the hall, we have a water closet and shower room. And then we have the guest room. So just off of our guest room, we have our veranda, and we are still working on it. We had been using it for storage of some of the things that we weren't able to get rid of or sell before we moved. But recently we have been able to get rid of most of it, and we bought these wardrobes to house the rest of the items that needed to be stored, as well as the clothing that I still need to sell. We'd really like to make this a little sitting area, a craft area with my soon-to-be sewing machine, and a little place for plants and everything. So stay tuned for that transformation as well. Across the hall is our primary bedroom. I think this room is probably the least decorated of all of the rooms, but I kind of like it like that. At first, I didn't know what to do with this huge wall behind our bed, and I was just kind of waiting for inspiration to strike, and it just hasn't yet. But I'm kind of liking it, but maybe someday something will pop up into my head and we'll just have to do it. I think this is the brightest room of our entire house, and I really love it. It's very helpful when putting on makeup. And now we head into my dressing room. Now, I did a full dressing room tour a little while back. So if you are interested in learning more about how I designed the room and what it looked like before, please do go check that out. I love having this room attached to our bedroom. And right behind this wardrobe right here is the door to the room of requirement. Having a garden in the middle of the city is such a welcome surprise. Here in the 19th district, it's not uncommon to see large back gardens attached to some apartment buildings and, of course, the villas. We have a cherry tree, mulberry tree, walnut trees, and lots of lovely plants and flowers. We get together with our amazing neighbors for cookouts, and it's just such a beautiful and peaceful retreat. Next year, I'm going to start a small raised garden bed to grow a few veggies. Thank you so much for joining me of a tour of our Viennese apartment. Feel free to drop any questions you have in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I will see you next time. Bye.